Back at 8:36, you may or may not know that Willie actually insists all of us call him King of the World around here. But he met his match recently when he got a chance to sit down with the man who made that line famous.
I told you, let's go casual. You can just call me Sir or Your Honor from here on out.
Thank you.
Well, Titanic, this movie is not. Leonardo DiCaprio plays a nasty villain in the new Quentin Tarantino film Django Unchained, a difficult role that's earned him a Golden Globe nomination.
What's your name, boy?
His name is Django Freeman.
Where'd you dig him up?
Let's talk about the character. He's not just a bad guy in the classic sense of a Hollywood bad guy. He's a bad guy. He's a misogynist, he's a racist, he's violent, he's vulgar.
He's the most deplorable human being I've ever read in a screenplay in my life.
Leonardo DiCaprio hated his latest character from the moment Quentin Tarantino handed him the script.
He was rotting from the inside. He was a young Louis XIV that had been brought into a world of entitlement and lived his life, essentially owning other people and having his life be dependent on other people's lives. It was a incredibly colorful character, and I had to play him.
What did you say, boy?
Calm down, Butch. No offense given. None taken.
Tarantino calls Mississippi plantation boss Calvin Candy the first villain he's written who he didn't like.
You do not have anything to drink.
For DiCaprio, the skin of a vicious slave owner was an uncomfortable place to be.
Roscoe, a beer for the man with the beard, and I will have a Polynesian pearl diver. Do not spare the rum.
You have to play somebody that doesn't even deem other people as human. And, you're working with other actors you respect, and you have to go in there and essentially, cut them off and treat them as a subspecies to you. It was a very hard switch for me to make.
Well, we weren't talking business yet. We were discussing my curiosity.
You did have some early reservations when you first read the script. You thought, gosh, maybe this goes a little bit too far.
Yeah, it was Sam Jackson and Jamie Foxx that said, you really have to go all the way with this man. I think people will feel that we're holding back.
You understand?
DiCaprio has worked with directors like Cameron, Spielberg, and Eastwood, and become a favorite of Martin Scorsese.
What's the difference?
But Django Unchained is the actor's first collaboration with the one-of-a-kind Tarantino.
He is a rambunctious sword, ain't he?
It really takes a director like Quentin Tarantino to say, look, this is the time period that I want to do a film about, and I want to go to these extremes, and it's also going to be an incredibly entertaining movie. It's also going to be funny. It's also going to have, elements of this pulpish spaghetti western aspect. There's only certain filmmakers that can combine all those elements and have a studio say, okay, yeah, absolutely, we'll greenlight that project.
In his role as Calvin Candy, DiCaprio is a long way from young Jack Dawson, the character who launched him into Hollywood's stratosphere. I think back to the height of Titanic mania, 15 years ago now, hard to believe. You could have done anything you wanted.
I probably should have done more movies at that time period, because I took a solid break. I didn't even understand what a hit was. That movie came out and people were like, this movie's doing amazingly well. I'm like, oh, great, good, that's great. And like, no, you don't understand. It's going to be, the highest grossing film of all time. I'm like, oh, great, so that's good, that's well, cool. But what it really did was it gave me an opportunity from that point on to, choose the roles that I wanted to do.
I'm the king of the world!
When you look at that guy, 22, 23 years old, whatever he was, standing on the front of the ship in Titanic, what do you see? What do you think?
Well, when you see yourself at that age, and I look at some of my earlier films, you see a different person.
The ship is going to tilt up to a certain point.
I think of somebody, still figuring out who they are, still wanting the same things that I want now, but somebody that I also can't connect with. I don't know what it would be like to have a conversation with that young man.
It's funny, you talk to him, he still feels 15 years later like he doesn't quite get what happened with Titanic, but as he said, he knows it opened so many doors for him. In fact, he's really busy this year. Django Unchained is in theaters now. He's got The Great Gatsby coming out in May, and he's in the middle of shooting here in New York a new Scorsese film about Wall Street. So as busy as he's ever been.
Well, I know you guys really clicked, I mean, among other things, over your wardrobe choice.
Yes.
Is it true you showed up in the same outfit?
It's true we showed up in the same outfit. For the record, I was there first. We were wearing the same shirt, the same jacket, and the same jeans. He didn't care. I didn't really care, but someone else suggested maybe he should put on a red shirt so that there was a little contrast. See, there's a hint of red in his, in mine.
He is so talented. I've always, from the moment he was in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, I've always said he has got an incredible future. And look at him now.
He's a fantastic actor, and he's great in this movie.